Hey, what's happening, people? If you are a professional florist and you work really diligently at taking your own photos of your design work, you know that sometimes it can be a challenge. But in today's video, I've got some tips for you, specifically if you happen to have an iPhone. Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm floral designer Frank Blanchard, AIFD, and like I mentioned, today I've got some tips for you, specifically on the topic of photography for using your iPhone, and especially if you want to try and use those photo images that you create for product photography on your e-commerce florist website. Now, if you've been following my latest video series on how to optimize your florist e-commerce website, this is the next video in the series specifically on the topic of photography and images for your e-commerce website. Now, a lot of these tips that I'm going to share today actually go for an image that you're going to use anywhere, but I will point out a few key factors that will affect how well your e-commerce website works. First off, I have been using iPhones now for quite a number of years. After being an avid Android fan, I finally switched because I had gotten to the point where I was constantly taking pictures of my design work, and I was needing to be able to do it quickly and in a really easy way. So I needed to get to the point where I was not also trying to carry around a camera with me. Cameras are great, but if you're trying to take pictures real spur of the moment, in the moment, and maybe you don't have a lot of time to get it done, sometimes being able to just pull your phone out of your pocket is the fastest way to get those images done. And at the time that I'm filming this now, we are literally 1 week from Christmas 2020. So Christmas is next week. So for retail florists and professional florists that have an e-commerce website, these are good tips for you right now, because hopefully you are thinking about creating some good images of your design work this year, especially your holiday design work, that you can use on your website next year. So this is going to make a big difference for you going into 2021 as you're creating new photo images of your design work. First off, leave your settings on auto if you possibly can. I know sometimes people just want to get in there and they want to mess with all of the settings, etc. If you're not tech savvy, I would say let the camera do what it knows how to do and let it automatically adjust for the photo images you're taking. Now, why I say that is because if you decide what you've been messing around with, you're not getting the results you want, and you're trying to get back to the original auto settings, if you're not tech savvy, sometimes it's hard to get back to those original settings. Secondly, and this is specifically for taking pictures of flowers, turn your flash off. Turn your flash off. Turn your flash off. Don't use your flash. More often than not, anytime you have your flash on and you're trying to take pictures of flowers especially, you're gonna end up with overexposed parts of what you're trying to take a picture of, specifically if you're trying to take a picture of an actual arrangement. Lighting affects colors in different ways. So you can end up with one arrangement that some of the flowers in that arrangement are really overexposed and really distorted, and other images look fine. But overall, you end up with a finished image that really isn't good, and you can't really see certain things clearly. So, that's my first tip. Turn the flash off, because that will make a big difference. When you can take pictures in natural light, ultimately that's going to give you your best results. And I've got some images here that I'm going to share that really kind of focus on that, and you can really see the difference. These are all images that were done in natural light. They were all taken outside, and quite a few of them were actually taken undercover. So it's not like we were out in the weather or anything like that. But it's just natural light, no additional lights added, and no flash on my iPhone. Now, if you do want to take images and you do need some additional lighting, I would suggest investing in a pair of photography lights, specifically softbox photography lights. Now, one thing nice about softbox photography lights is, and I'll share an affiliate link down below, specifically for a couple of softbox lights that I actually use, and I'm using them right now. And I use them a lot. Number one, I got this set because they came in a pair, and usually these softbox lights do come in pairs, and you can get a set for under $100. So it's a really good investment, so that when you do need to add some additional lighting, you've got the ability to do that. When you are taking photo images with your iPhone, specifically for product photography, I usually suggest to people to make a point of really looking in your lens on your camera when you're taking the pictures, and make sure that whatever you're taking the image of, whatever your product is, doesn't matter what the product is, make sure that you have about the same amount of space all the way around the image or the product that you're trying to take the image of that doesn't have anything in that space. You want it clear and clean. That way, you're also going to be able to make sure that the product that you've taken the picture of is dead center once you do upload it on your dashboard on your e-commerce website. Now, something you might want to consider when you are doing product photography, you might want to take some pictures of the same item that you're going to use in a different way, not necessarily on your e-commerce website. So you might want to shift your image so that the product that you're taking an image of is off center. That way, if you want to, at a later time, if you want to use that photo for an Instagram post or a Facebook post, you can actually edit the image in such a way that you can add text content in an overlay on that image on the side that doesn't have the arrangement in it. That's a really nice effect, and it's very eye-catching. So try and think of getting some double duty out of the items that you're taking photo images of. Now, my last tips for you are not so much about taking your pictures with your iPhone, but how you're going to go about uploading those images to your e-commerce website. And since this series is all about how to optimize your florist e-commerce website, these are tips specifically for all you professional florists. If your images are too big on your website, they can really make it so that in order to get your website to load on either somebody's desktop or especially on their mobile device, whether it's a cell phone or an iPad, etc., the bigger the file is, the longer it takes to load. The longer your website takes to load, the more likely your bounce rate is going to go up. And that's a really big determining factor now. In fact, Google actually states this, that one of their determining factors in SEO and how they go about ranking a website and what page it ends up falling on, especially for Google, they take into consideration how fast that website loads on a mobile device. So it's not all just about keywords and keyword phrases and text content. It's about anything on your website that slows it down and makes it so that, especially for smartphones and mobile devices, it loads really slowly. So that's why you're wanting to size your photos appropriately for the platform that your website's with and compress those files so that they don't take up so much bandwidth. For e-commerce florist website, those are probably my top tips for product photography and some benefits of using an iPhone to do those photo images, because you're going to get some fantastic clear images if you put these lighting tips into play. And also, before you snap those pictures, really think about what you might want to use that image for. And just start taking lots of pictures, because the more you take and then take the time to actually look at them and evaluate them, your editing skills are going to get better and better, and you're going to end up with images right off the bat that you hardly need to do any editing to whatsoever before you use them. Now, if you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And up in the cards here and the end screen, I've got links to the other videos specifically in this series on how to optimize your florist e-commerce website, and also some other videos that I've also done that you'll probably find and get some helpful tips for. So until next time, check out these next videos and we will see you very soon. Bye guys.